Hi, Kari Morris here. I just want to take a minute to tell you something new I'm doing. I have created Leading a Mastermind course. If you lead some type of small group, especially when it relates to facilitating a meeting, helping people develop and create an effective team in a small group setting, then this course is for you. Because we are living today with lots of great content, but at the end of the day, the greatest transformation of people comes through a small group of committed individuals. Therefore, I think today the greatest need, more than anything, is not more content, but great facilitators. So, through my course, you'll get to understand how to ask great questions, facilitate a room, and actually help people implement new behaviors in their business, community, and life. So hit the link in the description and find out more.
But I think that is such in our young 20s and even into our 30s, that for some reason there's like gotta be like a fake it to make it. I gotta look like I got it all figured out, so eventually I will have it all figured out. Versus, I think every man or woman we admire and look up to is their form of success was falling forward. It's like, just trial and error, give it a shot, see what happens, pick yourself up, figure out what you did wrong, and keep going.
Yeah, and there's this balance. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, but I was just saying perfection, it just really does just hold us back, that mindset.
Definitely. And it all plays out though. So if you address your inner life and, in using my language, you allow God to change your story about who you are and about what, let's say failure or success means, well, then your behaviors will follow that. And so therefore I wasn't having to hide in the toilet every time I had to treat a patient, because I realized, it's just a purple pancake. It doesn't matter if it actually doesn't work. And then because I did that, I gained more confidence, and therefore I had the ability to make bigger risks and to put myself out there with more self-assurance and more self-confidence. And then because of that, you get some successes under your belt. Therefore your self-esteem grows. Therefore you change your story, and therefore you can go out and take the next risk. So, definitely, whereas the alternative is just to fake it until you make it, to continue just pretending your whole life, not address the inner life, but just run to stand still. So to make yourself so busy that you don't have to address what's happening in your heart and your soul. And then just keep going up the corporate ladder. But then you hit your 40s and actually you don't know who you are, and who you are on the inside is just that insecure kid that was insecure in the first place. And that hasn't changed. So I truly am thankful that I've been taken on a journey where I've been learning to live from the inside out. So the successes I have on the outside, I think are representative of what's happened on the inside. I don't feel like there's this dissonance between what people see of me outside and what they see on the inside. I'm happy to cry. I'm happy to talk about my stuff ups and my failures on the outside. But I'm also secure enough on the inside to know that I'm loved, I'm accepted, I'm forgiven, I'm complete in Christ. And that's a really important thing, that your inner life shapes your success, not the other way around, because it just doesn't work to be a pancake, people, wide and thin, or to live from the outside in. It's just not the way you want to live.
That my actions dictate my identity. That's just a recipe for destruction. Because it is interesting. I saw a stat recently, like 80% of like CEOs have imposter syndrome. You know?
Well, what's fascinating, I mean, I heard a podcast on narcissism, and just how many CEOs are actually clinically narcissistic. So there's this fascinating, I don't know if it was a study, I read it in a book by Jamin Fraser, and he said that when people, if people don't address the inner life, don't address their insecurities, if people are insecure and they strive and they drive to break that insecurity through their work, well, then they're typically really successful for the first 20 years, because they're the A-type personalities. They never stop. They'll work until they burn out. Do you know what I mean? And so they often actually achieve a lot, but then they hit their kind of mid 30s, 40s, and actually they're a nightmare, because they're not the type of boss you want to work for, because they're insecure. And they don't back you. You don't trust them. They don't, you just, because their inner life isn't healthy. Well, it plays out in everything.
Yeah.
Whereas he said people who aren't insecure, they don't do so well in their 20s and 30s career-wise because they're not as driven, but they're much more successful over time in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. So again, I think that just backs up exactly what we've been talking about. There's a way to become successful that is really successful, and there's a way to get success that is actually really unsuccessful, that will break down your heart and your marriages.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Men Are Forged podcast. If you lead regular team meetings, lead a mastermind, or a small group in your community, I recommend you checking out the Leading the Mastermind course to improve your facilitation skills, as well as creating a structure that helps people thrive within your group or team meeting. So go check that out. The link is in the bio to find out more, and you can actually get a promo code of 15% off if you go Forged 15. That's Forged 15. Check out the link in the bio. Thanks for listening.